So, as you probably have heard already, Blizzard has gone off the friggin' deep end. So this weekend at BlizzCon, everyone was expecting a huge Diablo announcement. Most people were expecting either something along the lines of a Diablo 2 remastered, some kind of reveal, Diablo 4, even Diablo 1 remastered, something along those lines, or maybe even a Diablo 3 expansion pack, right? Instead, we get Diablo Immortal, a game that's based between Diablo 2 and 3, or set in a time between Diablo 2 and 3, and only available on the mobile market. Yes, only on mobile. There's no PC version. People ask, and there's nothing planned for PC at all. And pretty much everyone is pissed. Like every Diablo fan, or at least most Diablo fans, are not happy about it. There was boos in the audience, and the developers were not happy about the boos. We're like, don't you have mobile devices? Like, as if like, it's like, yeah, we do, but that's not the point. It's not like, oh crap, it's on something I can't play. It's like, dude, no one wants this, And personally, I don't have anything against mobile. There's a lot of people that just like, oh, mobile sucks. Like, why is it even a gaming platform? I don't really care about that crap at all. And, while mobile developers and a lot of mobile games have very negative practices, I don't really care about all that stuff. Blizzard does a good job when it comes to mobile, especially with Hearthstone. That's like a game that's like meant for mobile, or like does very well on both mobile and desktop. And I can totally see why that game works. But I feel like a game like Diablo can definitely thrive on mobile. But why is there not a PC version of Diablo Immortal? Why was there at least like not something else? The fact that was their biggest reveal is just kind of like a kick in the nuts. It's like you're expecting the new BMW M3 or the new Camaro, and instead they're like, oh yeah, we have a new version, but instead it's gonna be a family sedan. It's gonna be 4 doors. It's gonna be a hybrid, and it's not even gonna have. It's gonna have like half the horsepower it used to have, but it's gonna be nice because the family gets to sit in it. And it's like, what the heck? Like, that's not what the game is supposed to be. It's not what the car is supposed to be. So this is basically how I feel about it. Like, it's kind of ridiculous that Blizzard is just going in this path of like whatever makes the most money. And I get it, you're a business, but you've done such a good job with most of your IPs, if not all your IPs. Like, why do this now? And I feel like I can't help but think, like, ever since the last of the original founders left Blizzard, like, this has pretty much gone downhill. Granted, like, this was probably in production and development before he left recently, but I feel like now that he's really gone, like, now Activision is gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna dive right in and change things up. Let's put that NBA to work. And now Blizzard's like, crap, like, so much for like having good ideas. Like, all our good ideas are going to go down the drain, and all they're going to focus on is making money and upping that stock, which I get it's important, but if you don't have good products, how are you going to get that stock up, right? Like, I mean, look at Activision right now. Like, they don't have a good reputation. People do not like Black Ops 4. At least, like, I mean, there are people that think it's fun. I enjoyed at least the multiplayer when I played the beta for the most part. But, like, it's not getting good user reviews. It's already, I mean, people keep saying, like, oh, it dethroned Fortnite. I'm like, if you look at Twitch, Fortnite already won back its users. Like, okay, so let's not even go and bother and say, like, oh, it's dethroning things, like, when it's already lost some of its user base to Fortnite, or like back to Fortnite. So let's not even go there. But it's just like this is what happens. I think I said this before. This is what happens when people treat gaming too much like a business. Like when there's too many business people who are not gamers in the gaming business. Like, they don't understand the gaming mentality. Like, they treat gamers like any other consumer, like as if, like, we're in the candy business or in like the detergent business or something like that, some kind of retail. And it's not the same. Like, you can't treat these things like as if they're all just some kind of like, synonymous product. Like, it's just not the same. Because gamers, at the end of the day, not only are we more vocal, I would argue that we're definitely a bit smart. Like, I wouldn't say smarter than the average like consumer, but like we're definitely geekier, right? Like, we go into a lot of more technical things than the average consumer does. Like, we'll look into like all the specs, right? Like, think about like selling, because like I would equate like the gaming community to like kind of like a gearhead community, right? Like car enthusiast community, where they're really into like all the specs of it. Like, a new car comes out, it's like, oh, how many horsepower? Like, what kind of torque does it do? Like, oh, what kind of engine does it use? Like, how many cylinders? Like, what's how are differentials? What is suspension? Like, they go into all those little details. Versus the average car consumer is like, okay, is it good mileage? Will it break down? Does it have, MP3 player? Like, they just want like a decent car, right? Like a normal person just like, oh, I'm just going to Corolla and I'm good for the day. Versus a car enthusiast is like, they look into a lot more things. The gaming community is a lot like a car enthusiast community, where we're going to look into like, okay, how many like frames per second is it using? Like, what engine is it built on? What is going to be what's going to be the gameplay like? What kind of features is going to use? Are you using a different type of like gaming type of like strategy, in terms of like, are you going to invent some kind of new battle system, or are you just going with something classic? And all those things are really important to the gaming community. And I feel like we're not, and the problem is that's changing to the point where like we're being treated like as if we're like a general community. Sure, there's a lot of gamers out there that don't give a crap as long as the game is fun. Like, that's like the more of the social community. A lot of the mobile people probably are like that. It's like, I don't care if Candy Crush is built by like Unity engine or something like that, as long as it works. Whereas like you have the console and the PC world, the majority of gamers like, no, like we care about all this other stuff. And I don't think these execs really understand that's how we think. Like, they don't understand like that's what we look for in gaming, and it's going to go down a path that they don't want to go down. Because for the longest time, I feel like Blizzard was one of the few studios left, even after they merged with Activision, that still was able to put out decent stuff. Like they, with at least with like Overwatch and like all their other expansions, like everything is like, there's always like a fine-tooth comb that comes with Blizzard, and how they polish everything, and everything's made like pretty good for the most part. But I feel like this is going to be a start. I'm going to call it now. This is going to be a downhill spiral, like for Blizzard maybe. I'm now hoping I'm going to be proved wrong. Dang, look at that. And that, they are going to recover from this, but it does not look good for Blizzard as of right now. People are not liking this. If you go to any of their YouTube videos for the trailers, it's like 10,000 likes and like 500,000 dislikes. So, I mean, you can only imagine like what is going on here for that company right now. I mean, this is very similar to what happened with like Call of Duty, the first video that had like the most dislikes ever. And this is just going to go up there. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely not going to be great. So, but let me know what you guys think about this, especially Blizzard fans. Like, are you excited for Immortal, or are you not? I personally am not, just because like I don't play that much on my mobile. But the Switch, I might get into that one, so we'll see about that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications for new videos, and I'll chat with you guys later.